Some jobs are so dangerous it's almost like walking into death. We're talking about careers where only 0.2% survive. Yes, you hear that right. These are not action movie stunts. This is real life. They face death every single day. So why do they still do it? Money, duty, or something more? Today, we're diving into the world's deadliest jobs. Nuclear plant worker. Working inside a nuclear power plant sounds cool, but it's not your everyday job. It may look normal on the outside, but behind those thick walls, there's powerful energy that can be risky if not handled right. Whether you're controlling the reactor or fixing machines, every job in there has its own dangers. That's why the plant is full of safety checks and strict rules to protect both the workers and the people outside. But even with all that protection, the risk is never zero. One small mistake could lead to something massive. This is not the place for careless or forgetful people. You need to be sharp, focused, and ready to follow every safety step perfectly. Because when you're working with nuclear power, there's no room for error. Forensic science technician. This job is nothing like what you see on TV. A forensic science technician is the person who shows up after a crime and starts collecting every little clue. Fingerprints, blood drops, weapons, clothes, even digital devices. They don't just grab things, they use smart tools in labs and on crime scenes to figure out what really happened. Their work helps police solve cases and gives lawyers solid proof in court. It might look cool on the screen, but in real life, it's way more serious and way more intense. What most people don't realize is how dangerous this job can be. These techs have to get close to stuff like blood, chemicals, and sometimes even dead bodies, all of which can carry deadly diseases like HIV or hepatitis. Without the right gear, one small mistake can be risky. Plus, they often step into places full of shattered glass, burnt buildings, or people who might still be a threat. And seeing the brutal side of crime day after day can really mess with your emotion. This is not a job for someone who's easily shaken or has a weak stomach. Astronaut Job. Becoming an astronaut sounds like a dream, right? Flying in space, looking down at Earth, floating in zero gravity. It all seems so exciting. But behind all that wonder is a very tough and dangerous life. Astronauts don't just float around taking selfies. Their daily routine is full of small, important tasks that keep everyone alive. From fixing bolts to cleaning the spaceship's exterior, even the tiniest mistake can lead to disaster. In space, there's no second chance. If something breaks or goes wrong, it could mean serious trouble, even death. But the danger starts way before space travel. The training alone is super intense. Only the smartest and strongest even get close to wearing that spacesuit. And once you're chosen for a mission, everything must work perfectly from launch to landing. One small failure and the mission might never leave Earth. And if it does, there's still the hardest part left, coming back home safely. So if this is your dream job, prepare for a journey filled with risk, pressure, and a whole lot of responsibility. Sewer worker, India's deadliest job. This job isn't just hard, it's horrifying. In India, sewer workers climb down into dark, filthy drains with nothing but a helmet and coconut oil on their skin. Their mission? To clear massive clogs made of human waste by hand. Imagine going underground where it stinks so bad you can't breathe and the only light is the one you carry. Every 5 days, one of these workers dies, either by drowning in sewage or from breathing in poisonous gases that knock them out instantly. That's how risky this job is. What's worse, this deadly work hasn't changed much in the past 100 years. These brave workers who keep the city from flooding or backing up are paid just 500 rupees a day. That's around $7. And even though protests happen again and again, their conditions remain awful. They're crawling through toxic tunnels, risking their lives daily, and still treated like they don't matter. It's one of the most dangerous and heartbreaking jobs on Earth. Wildlife photographer. Getting close to wild animals sounds exciting, right? That's the daily life of a wildlife photographer. But behind those amazing photos of lions or tigers is a lot of danger. One wrong move and the animal might see the photographer not as a guest, but as a threat, or even as food. It's not all about the beauty of nature. Sometimes chasing the perfect shot means risking your life in the middle of the wild. Even photographing small animals isn't always safe. Some photographers climb trees or sneak through bushes just to catch a bird in action. But doing that in someone's backyard can bring a whole different kind of trouble. These photographers know the risks. And when something does go wrong, the camera usually catches everything, even the scary parts. Logging worker. This job is not for the faint of heart. Deep in the forests of America, logging workers face danger every single day. With a fatality rate of over 81 deaths per 100,000 workers in 2022, this is one of the deadliest jobs in the entire country. These workers cut down massive trees, operate heavy machines, and work in extreme weather far from help. It's not just about skill, they need sharp instincts and a deep knowledge of the land. One of the scariest risks, falling branches called widowmakers that can drop from above without warning. These things are heavy enough to crush a person instantly. But the dangers don't stop there. The tools they use, like chainsaws and massive machines called skidders, are just as deadly. One wrong move and it could mean a serious cut, crushed bones, or even losing a limb. The job is also physically exhausting, and when you're tired in this kind of work, losing focus could cost your life. Logging is not just hard work, it's a constant fight to stay alive. In one of the most dangerous jobs in America, commercial fishermen. This job isn't just tough, it's life-threatening. Commercial fishermen face freezing cold weather, rough seas, and long hours with barely any rest. Their work is full of danger, from slippery decks to heavy machines that can pull you overboard in a second. One small mistake and it could cost a hand, a leg, or even a life. In fact, in the United States, about 77 out of every 100,000 fishermen die on the job. Even with new safety gear and high-tech tools, the risk is still sky high. But here's the wild part, many of them wouldn't trade it for anything. In places like the deadly Bering Sea and cold Alaskan waters, where storms hit hard, fishermen still sail out. Alaska alone sees 1/3 of the country's fishing deaths, and still they go. Not just for money, but because it's their way of life. For many, it's in their blood. It's pride, tradition, and survival, all tied to the sea. Coal miner. Deep underground, where sunlight never reaches, brave coal miners work in total darkness. Their job is no walk in the park. Every single day, they risk their lives crawling through narrow tunnels with a constant threat of rocks falling, mine collapses, or even deadly gas explosions. These workers end up completely covered in coal dust, and just imagine the mountain of laundry they face every night. It's not just a dirty job, it's one of the most dangerous in all of America. But the real pain doesn't stop there. Breathing in coal dust every day brings terrible diseases like black lung and emphysema, slowly destroying their lungs over time. And for all that risk, the pay doesn't feel fair. A coal miner in West Virginia might earn around $64,000 a year, while the CEO of the coal company can make more than $14 million in the same time. That's the brutal truth of working deep in the earth. It takes everything and gives back so little. Construction worker? Climbing steel beams high in the sky or working around giant machines. This is what a construction worker faces every day. It's not just about lifting bricks or mixing cement. These workers operate powerful tools, walk on narrow edges many floors up, and deal with materials that could harm them. Even with today's safety rules and gear, the risk never fully disappears. A small mistake can turn deadly in seconds. The real danger hides in the tools, wires, and falling objects around them. One wrong step can cause a fall. A wrong button press can trigger a machine, or a live wire can send a deadly shock. Construction workers have to stay alert at all times. This is not a job for anyone who daydreams or loses focus. Every move counts, because one careless moment could be their last. Oh, rig worker. Getting to work for these guys isn't just a drive down the road. Oil rig workers in the North Sea have to hop on a helicopter just to reach their job. And that's one of the riskiest ways to travel. Once they arrive, there's no city skyline or cozy office, just a steel platform floating in the middle of the sea. They live there for weeks in tiny, noisy rooms, surrounded by waves and wind. Life offshore is tough, and every day is a challenge. Now imagine working 12-hour shifts in a place full of fire hazards, huge machines, and constant noise. That's daily life for these workers, often called roughnecks. They need real muscle and a lot of skill, from welding to handling massive equipment that can crush in seconds. But the reward? A solid paycheck starting at $40,000 and much more as you gain experience. It's not for everyone, but for those who can take the grind, it's one wild ride. Demolition worker. This job isn't just loud and explosive, it's seriously dangerous. Demolition workers go inside old, broken, and sometimes falling apart buildings that most people are told to stay far away from. Their mission? Make it ready to come crashing down. But before the big boom, they face extreme heat, work high up, and deal with heavy machines while things fall all around them. And yes, they do all this with explosives in hand. But here's something surprising. Not every injury comes from what you'd expect. While everyone thinks explosions and falling walls are the biggest threat, it's often the simple things like shaky ladders and loose scaffolding that cause the worst accidents. On top of that, silent killers like asbestos and silica dust float around, slowly harming the lungs. So demolition isn't just muscle and fire. It's a deadly puzzle that takes serious guts to play. Would you dare take on this job? If this shocked you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insane job stories. Underwater welder. Diving into the ocean is already risky, but imagine doing it with fire and electricity in your hands. That's the life of an underwater welder. These brave workers go deep under the sea, wearing heavy dry suits and high-tech helmets that let them talk to their team on the surface. They're connected to air hoses that help them breathe, kind of like astronauts floating in space. But it's not peaceful down there. The water is cold, dark, and filled with danger. One wrong move and they could face the bends, a painful and deadly condition caused by rising too fast. But the real shock comes when you add electricity into the mix. Literally, welding underwater means working with temperatures over 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And that heat can split the hydrogen and oxygen in water, which can cause explosions. Yes, underwater explosions. These welders risk drowning, electric shocks, hypothermia, tangled hoses, toxic gas poisoning, and even getting blown up. So next time you hear the word welder, just remember, it's not always a safe job on land. Some of them are fighting death beneath the waves every single day. A healthcare worker. Every day, someone puts on a uniform knowing they might walk straight into danger just to save a life. That's the reality of being a healthcare worker. Whether it's doctors, nurses, or paramedics, these people don't just do a job. They fight to keep others alive, even if it means risking their own health. Inside hospitals, they face deadly viruses, unpredictable patients, and overwhelming stress. Some patients lash out, some are scared, and others are in pain. Yet healthcare workers stay calm and help with care and courage. Now think about paramedics speeding through traffic to reach someone they've never met, all while not knowing what waits for them at the scene. Their job is to stay strong in chaos, and that chaos never ends. These heroes don't just carry medicine and equipment, they carry emotional scars too. Many deal with depression, burnout, or trauma from the things they see every day, but they show up anyway, ready to help, because when our lives fall apart, they are the ones holding the pieces together. Scaffolder. Working high above the ground might look cool, but it's no joke. Scaffolding, those metal poles and wooden planks you see around buildings, is one of the most dangerous tools used in construction. Whether it's fixing windows, building skyscrapers, or holding up old crumbling buildings, scaffolding is everywhere, and it's not just modern stuff. People have used this setup since the Stone Age. Some experts even believe ancient cave artists used early scaffolds to reach high walls in French caves. But here's the scary part. Even after thousands of years, scaffolding is still super risky. Just in the United States, more than 4,500 people get injured every year from scaffolding accidents, and sadly, around 60 of them lose their lives. That's not all. 1 of every 4 deaths at work is caused by falling from scaffolding. So yeah, it helps build our world, but it comes with a real price. High-rise window cleaner. Dangling hundreds of feet in the air with nothing but a rope and your gear? That's what high-rise window cleaners face every single day. While most people sit in air-conditioned offices, these workers are out in the open cleaning massive skyscraper windows under the burning sun, freezing wind, or heavy rain. It's not just about wiping glass. It's about trusting your life to the equipment. One small mistake, and there's no second chance. No water cooler gossip up there, just pure focus and nerves of steel. This job looks simple from the ground, but up close, it's intense and dangerous. These cleaners need serious strength to carry heavy tools and serious mental control to deal with the constant risk. Their ropes and platforms must work perfectly every single time. One loose grip or second of distraction could be deadly. So yes, the view is amazing and the sun feels nice on your face, but would you risk your life for it? Iron and steel worker. Hanging high in the sky, some workers face danger with every single step. Iron and steel workers build the giant metal frames that hold up our skyscrapers, bridges, and towers. These fearless people climb to extreme heights, carrying heavy tools, welding thick beams, and working right through strong winds and storms. Their job needs serious muscle, perfect balance, and zero fear of heights. But the risks are just as big as the buildings they build. One wrong step could mean a deadly fall. If that's not scary enough, they also deal with fire, from welding, heavy equipment that could crush them, and unpredictable weather that makes their job even harder. This work isn't just a job, it's a heart-racing adventure every day. Would you ever be brave enough to weld steel while hanging hundreds of feet in the air? Search and rescue hero. Rushing into danger while everyone else runs away? That's the job of a search and rescue worker. These real-life heroes are trained to go deep into mountains, forests, or collapsed buildings to find people who are lost or injured. Sometimes they work with rescue dogs, sniffing out survivors in places where humans can't reach. They know first aid and help people right at the scene. Whether it's a hiker trapped in the woods or someone stuck after an accident, they're the first to show up and the last to leave. But their bravery doesn't stop there. Search and rescue teams often help during disasters like floods, earthquakes, or fires, where every second counts and things can change fast. They also help police at crime scenes or during missing person cases in cities. It's a risky job, climbing through rubble, facing rough weather, or moving through dangerous terrain, but they're trained for it. No matter the danger, their goal stays the same: save lives and bring people back home safe. Let's take a moment to appreciate these silent heroes. Like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories. Cell tower climber? Climbing high into the sky with heavy gear on your back is not for the faint of heart. Cell tower climbers do just that every day. Their job is to fix, install, or remove equipment on tall metal towers that allow us to use mobile phones and radios. These towers stretch hundreds of feet into the air, and even though climbers wear safety harnesses and ropes, one wrong move, a broken clip, or a sudden gust of wind can send them falling. And when the weather turns bad, like rain, strong winds, or lightning, the danger jumps even higher. Those towers can become slippery or even attract lightning like a magnet. Now think about hanging on a narrow platform with no solid ground in sight. These climbers carry heavy tools as they go up and then work for hours without much rest, sometimes just holding on to the side of the tower. The job is physically exhausting, and that exhaustion can turn deadly. One moment of lost focus, and the result could be tragic. This is not just a job. It's a test of strength, balance, and nerves every single day. Sanitation worker? They keep our cities from turning into trash piles. Sanitation workers are the quiet heroes who clean the mess we leave behind, from collecting garbage to clearing dead animals from the streets. They handle the dirtiest jobs so we can live in clean neighborhoods. They ride on garbage trucks, jump off the grab bins, and sometimes work right on busy roads. Even in the dark when drivers don't pay attention, many workers have been hit by cars while doing their job, and most people don't even know how dangerous their daily routine really is. Now think about what they touch every day. It's not just garbage. They deal with broken glass, use needles, rotting food, and even toxic chemicals. One wrong move can mean cuts, infections, or serious breathing problems, and yet they show up every day without complaints. So next time you walk past a sanitation worker, maybe say thanks, because without them, our streets wouldn't be safe, clean, or livable. Roofer? Climbing high in the sky with just a harness and nerves of steel, roofers face danger every single day. Their job isn't just about laying down tiles or fixing leaks. It's about balancing on steep, unstable roofs in extreme weather. Whether it's burning hot sun or freezing winds, they push through it all. One wrong step can mean a deadly fall, and even experienced roofers aren't safe from slippery surfaces, weak spots, or sudden storms that can flip their entire day upside down. But that's not all. Roofers also deal with hidden dangers no one talks about. Toxic fumes from the materials they use can mess with their health, and getting too close to a live power line can end it all in seconds. It's a job where every move matters and there's barely any room for error. From heat stroke to electrocution, from collapsing roofs to rotten wood, roofers live on the edge, literally. It's a tough, risky job that demands courage and strength every single moment. These jobs are no joke. They push humans to the edge of survival. If this shocked you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more crazy real-life stories.